Welcome everybody to Week 10, the Halloween edition of the PrepZone football preview. That's Mr. Feeny from Boy Meets World. That's injured Tony Romo, and I am Brock Lesnar.
You can say injured Tony Romo. I prefer to say my shattered hopes and dreams is what I actually like to, think of myself.
Like to be a Cowboys fan?
Do you have some good advice for me, Mr. Feeny?
Well, you see, I teach in Philadelphia.
Oh no! Ball game.
I got nothing to say to you.
All seriousness, Dayne Young, David Mitchell, Jack Patterson. Welcome to Week 10 of the PrepZone football.
George Feeny. George Feeny.
Oh man.
We get to each other.
Do I have to
try?
Can I call you George?
Believe in yourself.
Can I call you George, or do I have to call you Mr. Feeny?
Do good.
George or Mr. Feeny?
Mr. Feeny.
Or
have you no respect?
Feeny.
Oh goodness.
Do that one too.
So let's get started with the games. We'll start at Alabama. Alabama's in that weird week where everybody's either off before the playoffs or they have that non-region opponent the last week of the season. And we got an interesting matchup in Opelika. Opelika, the Region 3 6A champions, going against Enterprise. I'm not going to say the Cinderella story of 2-7A because, well, Lee made the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true.
But the team that knocked off Prattville, Smith Station, and Central to make the playoffs.
I don't know that anybody had a run like Enterprise had. I mean, Lee maybe Lee's the Cinderella, if you want to call it that. But I don't know that anybody went through the teams that Enterprise went through at the end of the year.
I think that road gets no tougher unless
creeping me out.
It really.
The only team that had a run like that was Pembroke, the Penguins, when they went and beat the Amish.
What?
Okay. I remember.
No, I know where you're going with that.
I remember.
When he caught the bee off of. That's Feeney's real wife, actually. Just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Real world life.
Interesting.
Okay.
Dean Bollinger.
Okay.
Real wife.
Didn't know
Notice, just a heads up, guys, there's going to be a lot of Boy Meets World references.
I think we are familiar with, obviously, Opelika, and we've become familiar with Enterprise the last few weeks. Tell us why, Mr. Feeny, Opelika is going to be a bigger challenge for Enterprise than these other teams have been the last few weeks, if they are.
They will be. It'll be for a few reasons. One, Brian Blackman is a great teacher. And I know something about great teachers that have an impact in children's lives forever. Opelika also has, like I did, I had 3 students that seemed like they were with me forever. Opelika has those. Josh Johnson, seems like he's been there a few years. Jake Bentley seems like he's only been there 1 year, but he's going to be there another year. And Jake Bentley's intermediate passing game is why Opelika is different than what Enterprise has been facing, because Central can throw the deep ball, but their intermediate passing game is not quite as good. Jake Bentley can hit all the throws that really a lot of college quarterbacks can hit. He's going to go to a school better than Pembroke. He's going to go to an SEC school most likely. He's been offered by Stanford already, who's a top 10 team. So Opelika, I think they're going to be an Enterprise, remain undefeated, go into the playoffs undefeated.
I think there's also this chance of, Enterprise had to expend so much energy over the past 3 weeks against great teams to get into the playoffs. And now they've clinched the playoffs. This game doesn't, it matters, but it doesn't matter standings.
To Opelika seniors, I know it matters to them.
Yes.
Right. I'm saying for Enterprise, though, I think there are 2 scenarios that could happen. One, more scenarios than this, but 2 negative scenarios that could happen to them, which is, one, they would rather just kind of rest up and get ready for the first round of the playoffs. That's one strategy that a lot of coaches might take. 2, the other possibility is that these guys just got so up the last 3 weeks that this week, it's tough to keep that going, especially against a team like this. And it's easy. They call it that hangover game for a reason, and that's a real possibility, I think, too. Are you scratching your nose? I can't tell.
Nodding in approval.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
I got it.
Are you really going to be like that for the entire show?
After we talk about after we talk about Opelika Enterprise, Mr. Feeny will be going away.
Mr. Feeny will be going.
Mr. Feeny only talks Opelika and Pembroke.
fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, we're done talking about Opelika and Enterprise, so bye, Mr. Feeny. Thanks for your wisdom.
Be good to each other.
So, let's
Thank
go.
you.
Let's go ahead and get down to our next matchup, and for the rest of the show, it's all 1-5A all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in 1-5A.
I shudder to think that 1-5A may be as crazy, if not crazier, than 2-7A was.
Yeah, there's a chance, and we won't put everybody through the punishment of the scenarios and what could happen this week because none of it really matters this week.
Okay, timeout. Let's be honest. Nobody even knows about the punishment that we put them through because we had to cut half the show last week because Central lost to Enterprise and I had to go back and retape everything.
That is true. I forgot about that. Yeah, there was more punishment that y'all could have gone through, but there were a lot of scenarios. But
instead, you only had to deal with me for 3 minutes.
which that's punishment enough. But
Whoa!
thought that was pretty good.
Would you like that other arm to be broken, Romo?
Whoa! Hey, this is my throwing arm, buddy. Got to get back. Got to get back in a couple of weeks.
Who cares? Not like Cowboys gonna do anything this year.
They're only half a game out of first place. Crazy.
Which tells you how bad the
Crazy
NFC East is.
If they had won yesterday or 2 days ago, they'd be in first place right now.
Well, just say Sunday because this thing is not airing.
Yeah,
until
that's true.
Thursday.
On Sunday, if they had won on Sunday. Gotta get our time frame right. Anyway, 1-5A. There are a lot of scenarios. Right now, I think all that matters, and we'll get to this game later, Northside and Carver. That game's for a region title. And there are 4 other teams in it right now. Besides Northside and Carver, we got Columbus, we got LaGrange, we got Shaw, and we got Harris County. 3 of them, Harris County, Shaw, and Columbus have 3 losses. LaGrange has 2 losses, and Harris County will get LaGrange this week. Columbus will get Hardaway. So you are really distracted right now. He doesn't understand either. Hey. Sit. Lay down.
Oh my God! I wish I could tilt that camera down.
He is laying down for the record.
He is laying on the floor of the studio, folks.
Hey.
We have reached.
Sit down.
It's Florida Hate Week.
Talk football with us.
Oh gosh.
Talk high school.
Let's talk some dogs.
Let's talk high school football.
Future dogs. Braylon Sanders, Callaway.
Well, Cowboys playing Harrelson County. They'll blow them out of Cowboy Stadium. What else do you need to know?
Go dogs.
Can we talk Harris County LaGrange?
We're talking Harris County LaGrange, man.
Take Crowder. Let's go.
You're a little
You're a year
behind the
late.
times.
You're a year late.
So anyway, to the point, Harris County is still alive in this.
Yes.
A win would help. A loss would put them in dire straits.
Yeah.
But this game it means everything to Harris County right now, and this game and Northside Carver will clear up the playoffs outlook a little bit.
Let's not forget that Harris County should have beaten Northside. They were ahead most of that game. I know Northside won it, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Northside, but I think Harris County played really well in that game.
Northside folks.
No,
Jack, I need you. Wait, hang on.
No.
I need you to tweet this out.
No.
I need you. Chill. I need you to tweet this out because they gave me a real hard time after the game last week, and I think it's time.
This is not gonna end well.
To give Dayne a hard time. His email is mwrbl@wrbl.com. You can email him there with all hate, or at Dayne Young, or at WRBL.
I would like to point out that I gave Northside quite a shout out with a good Twitter video.
Yeah, but
on
you also
Friday.
just said that they should have lost to Harris County.
And Harris County was the better team that day, in my opinion, while I was there. Now, when I left, perhaps Northside picked it up.
Wow.
I'm keeping my mouth shut because I'm a Shaw grad and I'm not about to tick off Northside graduates.
There you go.
America Sumter.
Northside students.
There you go.
That's just,
That gum, man.
you don't poke a beast.
Talk about shade.
Hey, by the way, Northside undefeated in the region. I mean, my goodness. I know we're going to get there and talk about that. That's impressive.
Let's finish Harris County.
Let's finish Harris County.
Yeah, we haven't even really gotten into this yet.
Rein it in, Jack.
There's a rundown we go by. Well, there's not really a rundown we go by. It's just something we make up before we go on the air.
I should suplex you.
They're supposed to be. Harris County right now, they're 1-3 in the region. They have had success at running the football. Bubba Blackman. They're still not quite there yet. And, you know, it may be, they're not dead. They're not dead in the region, but they're going to be in a tough situation.
They'll be on life support if they lose this game.
And LaGrange, you know, even at 2-2, they have lost a couple of games. They're a incredibly good football team.
Let's keep it real. Anybody could have won that Carver game.
Right.
That was such a back and forth game that anyone could have won that game. All right.
And if that LaPerry Perry shows up against Harris County, that's trouble for the Tigers.
That's a nightmare scenario for the Tigers.
And LaGrange needs it just as much. I mean, they're
right now. LaGrange controls his own destiny. I would believe for the 2 seed, if I'm right. If Carver were to beat Northside,
if Carver, it does. So LaGrange doesn't quite control its own destiny, but if Northside loses this week, then LaGrange would control its own destiny.
Yeah, the winner of the Northside-LaGrange game would be the 2 seed.
Yeah. A home playoff game for LaGrange would be quite a big deal because I've seen them play much better at home than they have been on the road.
Well, shoot, 51-50, even in a loss.
That's so impressive.
You're putting up 50 points on Carver. That's
dynamic.
Not many teams put up 50 points against Carver. It just doesn't happen.
Right. So that seems like a good segue
to our Friday night tailgate game of the week.
And we got Dayne back, sort of. In a weird hat. He's just got things. I
That's
told
supposed
him,
to be Manchester United or something?
It was a gift from a friend of mine who is a missionary in Spain.
Oh.
Went with me to the Grady School of Journalism at the University of Georgia. Go Dogs.
All righty. So
plus, like Joe Kegler always says, just go out there and win a ball game.
Alrighty then.
What's that supposed to be?
Just go out there and win a ball game.
To our Friday night tailgate game of the week between Carver and Northside. It is for the Region 1 5A championship down at Memorial Stadium. And I think this is, I almost want to say it's kind of a David versus Goliath matchup because you got Carver, the perennial powerhouse, multi-time region champion in the last decade, probably the best team in the city of Columbus in the last decade, going against Northside, the team that's on the up and coming that nobody really thought would get to this point, but still have put together the wins they needed to get to this point.
In that sense, where we're talking about history, it is David and Goliath. Talking this year, I think I said it way back at the very beginning of the season. There were a number of coaches who told me that they thought that this was a year where Northside was going to be able to make some noise in that region, and they haven't disappointed. I thought maybe 3 would be their cap because I kind of figured LaGrange, maybe Shaw was going to be up in that mix. But what Northside's done is they have a specific style of play that can limit what another team's offense can do. If they're successful running the football, look, Kalen Watts got the ball, I think, the first 15 plays of the game, offensive plays.
Remember what I told you, the Northside Shaw game about a month ago back. They had a 20-play drive and passed the ball once.
Right. So we're talking, if Northside can have success running the football on the ground with Kalen Watts, with their other guys.
Levi Dunn's really tough, too.
I was about to say,
running the ball.
Moving Levi Dunn out. Then that's going to limit Carver's opportunities, which could make this game a lot closer than you might think. Because Carver is, we were talking about it before we came on here, Carver is hitting its stride.
Yeah.
Carver offensively is firing on all cylinders.
You agree that they're playing as good as they have in the last 3 years?
Agree. I'm trying to think 3 years ago where they were before Jawan passed. Do you mean since Jawan passed?
Since Jawan really got the reins
This
of
is
the team.
Jawan's best period. And I know he's had more turnovers this year than either of the past years combined. And that's okay.
Let's go.
Because he has grown as an all-around dual threat guy. the last 2 years, he didn't run the ball with the conviction that he runs the ball with this year.
And he's not getting hit when he runs it either. That's what's so impressive.
He can move, and he's versatile. He's shifty, and passing the ball, he and his wide receivers have finally gotten onto a good page. And I think that they've discovered what the offensive line is good at, what they struggle at, and how to call their game based on that. So offensively, they're in a great place. Now, if Northside can have success offensively and keep Carver off the field, keep Jawan Pass off the field, that's going to make this a much closer game and give Northside a chance late.
That being said, I'm going to go against your David and Goliath comparison, because what I look at what Northside has done, most impressive game to me was Columbus. Because I think Columbus is still a really good football team.
Yeah, I thought last week that was a great, because they almost started to give it up.
Yeah.
And Columbus got all the momentum, and then Kalen Watts happened on the kickoff.
Did their thing. So I look back at when Columbus played Carver, very rainy day, and it was close for a long time.
Right.
And then Carver pulled away. If Northside can keep it close, then really if your secondary can stop those big passes that you're talking about, that Puma is getting to his receivers,
Right.
you got a chance.
Yeah.
And all you want to do is get to the fourth quarter with a chance against Carver. We all agree Carver's the favorite here.
And if Northside can get a lead and then pound the ground like it does, then that could
be
pose
trouble.
some more
And remembering that Northside was a playoff team last year.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Their game, I talked with Morgan Ingram about that today. Their game against Northside Warner Robins last year, just getting there, playing big game football, invaluable.
Yeah.
Means so much to them for this week specifically, because they're not.
They feel like they belong.
They feel like they belong, and they've been here. They know what a playoff atmosphere feels like, and this will be a playoff atmosphere.
Memorial Stadium's going to be rocking Friday.
What's really good for Northside, too, is that if what we all think is going to happen is that Carver ends up winning this game, yeah, I mean, you don't get the boost that you would get if Northside beats Carver, but the fact is they've done enough good work so far. They're still a playoff team potentially hosting.
Right.
Which, again, that's invaluable. So you're already saying, look, we know that in the next month, we've got 2 really big games, maybe 3.
And just one scenario, we're not going to go in depth.
No, because
We learned our lesson last week.
Yeah.
This game is going to determine the #1 seed. This is for the region championship. And Northside can also clinch the #2 seed if Harris County beats LaGrange, regardless of what happens for Northside and Carver. So that's what they're playing for this week.
It's going to be crazy at Memorial Stadium Friday night.
It is Friday night. That's our tailgate.
A lot of Northside fans will be there. They got their students.
I'm assuming you'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah. I will not be able to partake. I'll be heading down to 280 in Opelika. Checking out Jake Bentley.
There you go.
And I will be at that huge Harris County LaGrange game at Cowaway Stadium Friday
Got
night.
them all covered.
We got you covered. Follow us on Twitter at LE Prep Sports, at Dayne Young, Northside.
You won't see this hat on my Twitter.
I'm at J Patterson TV, and you can follow our WRBL Sports account at WRBL Sports. And you can also follow our sports anchor, Natalie Pellicetti, at Nat Pellicetti. And I think that's it.
Say goodbye.
Can we talk about why Florida sucks?
I would love to, but that's for a different show.
I'm going to start just naming reasons, and y'all can close the show, okay?
I was trying to think of what I wanted to say, and this is what I wanted to say. Spencer is...
We did not mention that. We have got to mention that right now. Spencer is 1 win away from its first winning season since 1977, and the question, I put this on Twitter the other day, the question is no longer if Spencer can get to the playoffs, it's what are they doing when they get there. They have wins over 2 top 10 teams this year. Big on the green wave. Big things are happening down on Victory
making
Drive.
this guy look incredibly smart.
He did call it.
Roll the clip.
He called it.
What would Brandon Whedon say?
Nothing.
I'm going to go to 2-3A as well, but I'm not taking Jordan. Spencer will make the playoffs this year.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I really like the way the Green Wave has looked in summer practices. They've been close before. The coaching staff is really experienced. They got Jason Gibson from the Lions helping them out. I really think that Spencer's offense can get it going because Spencer's defense has always been pretty good. It's really been that offense that just can't get through that wall.
Yeah.
I think the Green Wave is going to turn some heads this year, and they're going to upset some people.
Because he's not starting.
And we're back.
We're talking about Brandon Whedon.
I think we should just wave goodbye.
No, I want to hear about Brandon Whedon.
He's not starting quarterback. Why do we need to talk about that?
What's your thoughts on Matt Castle?
I think he did. I think there's a reason Darren McFadden.
And I'll do it for Week 10, the PrepZone football.
So Gainesville's a terrible place. The entire state of Florida is just ugly. The weather's terrible and awful. It's humid. No one wants to go down there. Disney World's actually overpriced, even though we get free tickets in the media. Nobody wants to spend their whole vacation there. It's not that good. You got the Hogan, Hulk Hogan's from down there, and he's got his own shoes. Orange juice is overrated. In fact, the entire state is just hosting like a bunch of bad football, and no one likes the state of Florida.
All right. Are you guys done?